let's come up with something. I'm like, come on, look, there's this land, I say. We'll build 2 villas. Why shouldn't I just go and build them? It's so simple. Oh, let's have everyone do everything and you'll just have to say what to do. No way. You take the picture, reality, and they don't match up at all. I'll show you what I don't like. You can build it for 100 and have it be pretty and smart. Adding those, bricks, that also costs money. If I can't reach the ceiling when jumping, that's already okay. Look where all my dishes are. Here. I'm begging you, please. I don't need any of this nonsense here. For now, I wouldn't get into construction.
It's quite a classic career path for a real estate agent who's been in the market for a long time to become a developer. But not every chicken is meant to fly. And today I'll tell you, am I an eagle or still just a chick? Hi, I'm Anna Miroshina and you're on my YouTube channel. Our project, we called the first one the birds. And look, what a symbolic story. Let's go. Just be quiet, please. So I wonder, who really lives here? Take a look around. There is absolutely not a single soul here. Just 2 weeks ago, there were 2 eggs here. Today, the nest is empty. First of all, the nest is built very low to the ground. Secondly, this is the second nest because the first one was at that villa and there were also 2 chicks there. And I actually watched them grow completely, from eggs to chicks that eventually flew away on their own. But here I only saw 2 eggs. I don't know, did they already manage to hatch and fly away? Actually, in just 2 weeks, that's unlikely. Or maybe their mother moved them somewhere else after all. This shows that it's very quiet here, very peaceful and comfortable for birds. So just imagine what it must be like for us to live here then.
Why zebra?
Why is it called that?
Yeah.
Because from above, if you look, both villas look like outstretched eagle wings. That's all there is to it. And
who came up with it?
well, we somehow looked at the model from above after we drew it, and it looked like that. That's how it started. Birds, it seems very logical, the transition from real estate agent to developer. I know the market, I've looked around, and I understand the demand. Why not build it myself? It seems so simple. And that's where it all begins. But I know this construction company, maybe this one, the architect, I know him too, he's a great guy. What about design? This person will do it for me. Well, everything's fine. What's so difficult about it? When it seems to you that everyone will do everything and all you have to do is just tell them what to do. Not at all, that's not how it works. That was a very big mistake. This particular project it consists of 2 villas. From the very beginning, it was developed with an investor for sale, but its goal was to combine within itself all the extensive knowledge I have accumulated over the years working within the real estate industry so that it could all be fully implemented in a single project. Because often, as it happens in this project, this part is great, but something is missing. Here, this is great, but again, something is lacking. So I wanted to bring all of that together, and now let's see if it worked out or not. We have 3 bedrooms. Each bedroom has its own bathroom. There's a separate office, a huge living room, and the grounds are laid out so that you can always enjoy a lush green view, so that there is at least a small garden. Because when they build villas with a fence right in front of the pool, it looks terrible and you feel like you're living in a cage. In general, the pool turned out huge. Actually, we have, I don't know, a single villa that has such a big pool. This terrace of ours is very wide. When the sun is about to set, the farthest the sunlight reaches is about 1 meter from the edge of the roof. Here, you're always out in the fresh air. What time is it now? It's just after 1 in the afternoon and it's still quite cool. It's windy here, there's shade and the tiles. It has several functions. The first and most important is durability and maintenance. You can drag heavy suitcases over it, scribble on it with markers, or do whatever you want. This surface can handle it all. And then it can be wiped clean with no effort. Plus, the second function of these tiles is to regulate the temperature, keeping the heat outside while preserving the coolness inside. The architect and designer create a visual for me. They show me the renderings and I just squeal and gush, saying, oh my God, it's so beautiful, so cool, just incredible. I'm going to end up with these amazing villas. Then the actual construction starts and it's like, well, we'll change this. You take the original picture and the final reality, and they don't match up at all. Naturally, we've also had specific circumstances where we had to replace something during the process, and that completely altered the look. But we managed to implement about 85 to 90% of what the architect had envisioned. There's a lot of greenery. We even tried not to cover the parking area completely with concrete, but to use, well, some kind of tiles so that there would be, visually, it is a vibrant, lush green color. This means we have to take very special care of the grass because it needs to be watered quite regularly. But visually, it really simplifies the overall look of the entire landscape design. It's a large area. Here, you can run around the house, you can run around the pool. In other words, there's always a place for children to play. Plus, there's space to run inside the house as well, all the windows open, so it's actually very easy to play tag or hide and seek here. It's literally a 7-minute walk to the beach. But I'll also add golf carts to the villa so you can easily load up all of the family and comfortably get there. It's literally just right there. It'll only take 2 or 3 minutes. Located in the northern part of Koh Samui, Bantai Beach. That's what we call it in our local circles around here. It's a mom's beach. Why? Because it has a gentle, smooth, and comfortable entry along with a fairly wide and inviting sandy shoreline. There are lots of various little cafes, local venues, and relaxing beach clubs there. So you can perfectly spend your time resting under an umbrella or in the warm sun, whichever you prefer. The gentle entry into the sea means you can always keep an eye on your child. That's why this villa is family-friendly.
Why did you decide to start building villas?
I wanted to make some money. It seemed to me that there was more money in development than in agency work. I'll say right away, no. Working for an agency is much simpler, with fewer daily responsibilities. But objectively, for me personally, it is easier to make money through sales than through construction. Of course, I truly want to be both beautiful and smart. I still have not quite decided yet. Right now, I am at a crossroads whether to continue in development or not. We have the thickest windows, which perhaps were installed so that they would keep the cool air in. Just yesterday, we turned on the air conditioners and checked the surfaces inside to see how well they maintain the temperature. And the ceiling works perfectly, as do the walls and the glass. By the way, this was actually one of the main ideas, to make this house as comfortable as possible, specifically from the user's perspective. And we succeeded. By the way, this is something I'm truly proud of because we really pulled it off. As for all the technical aspects, we made a separate video specifically from a construction point of view where we discussed all these details. So I won't repeat what's here and how it works, especially since that's not my area of expertise, but rather the builders. The main space is the living room, where our whole family always spends time together. Look, let me tell you what was originally planned, what my idea was. For example, you're standing here cooking, preparing dinner, gathering everyone, doing this and that. You're in the middle of the process. I can see what's happening in the pool. I have a full view of the entire area. That was important for me too, because I realized that if you're busy with something, the kids will still start running back and forth, and I need to know what's happening with them and where. Here I can see what's happening in the bedroom. Here I can see what's happening in the bedroom. So I can see what's happening in the pool. Everything is under my supervision. So that's why the layout is like this. That's why there are so many windows. This area right here is a comfortable lounge for watching TV. The TV will get here eventually. Someday it will finally arrive and be fully set up in this spot. And this is the spacious dining and eating area. And there's a lot of space. Look how much room there is to run and walk around here. Just the same. This is an exceptionally comfortable table. All the furniture here is carefully sourced from China, but we chose every piece to be as comfortable and as convenient as possible. both in terms of daily use and in terms of practical material maintenance. So it's all really high quality. If you touch it or if you sit down on it, you'll quickly realize that it's genuinely pleasant to the touch. There are no scratches from cats, and even kids' things like plates don't leave marks either. Everything can be cleaned off because I understand that different families will be here, and that's definitely necessary. It all needs to be simple and easy to maintain. I want you to be sure to look up so you can clearly see and show exactly what the ceiling height is here. That's actually quite a rare thing to find because everyone usually tries to save as much as possible on that. So you must understand that adding all these extra bricks here also involves an extra cost. Building a high roof isn't just like making a flat one either. You have to set it up like this. But what does this 4.2 meter roof give me? There's a massive amount of open space here and a lot of fresh air, so all the heat naturally rises up. And I always have plenty of clean air to breathe. And so that visually, your eyes don't just hit the flat ceiling right away. That was actually one of the primary tasks I gave to the architect. And I think we pulled it off really well in the end. In the end, I really like this solution and I am very happy with how it turned out. Now let me show you the things that I don't like as much. Look, I'm in my kitchen right now. This is the spot where I do all my cooking, but as you can see, I have very little counter space to work with. All right, whatever. If anything, there is still just a bit of usable space left over here. But now, look at where I have to keep all of my dishes. They are right here under the TV, you see? Right here. Don't ask me why. The plates are supposed to go here, so if I wash them over there, they go here. And then I have to move them all the way over there. So we kind of miscalculated a bit. And it is in these little things, by the way, that I will definitely be making some significant changes in my future work. Because, for example, the placement of the light switches, it seems like such a simple, obvious thing. We should have thought about why they're right here. Why is it that something that turns off over there is switched off here? And there are, for example, 4 of them. Until I actually play around with all of them like this, I have no idea how long it will take me to remember which switch controls which light. Overall, it's incredibly frustrating and inconvenient for me as a user. I want to take a moment to summarize what was done well and what could have been much better. I'll say right away that in general, any endeavor is defined by the people involved in it. And I was damn lucky with the people who participated in this project. That is exactly why the entire vision and conceptual framework I had in my head was fully realized from a professional architectural standpoint, from a high-level construction quality standpoint, and especially in terms of daily living comfort and the overall final result. However, in this specific area, things actually turned out a bit differently than I would have originally liked them to be. Why? Because it was precisely at the final finishing stage and at the very practical and important usability stage. I didn't think about the fact that a separate person was needed, someone who would thoroughly consider all the ergonomics, calculate everything, and integrate it into the overall concept. That was mistake number 1. I did not actually hire someone who is a specialized professional in the field of ergonomics. The second point is that we will almost certainly have a legal court case. We are currently dealing with a legal dispute involving one of our window suppliers. So what exactly is the issue? We kept on hoping for that classic Thai style tomorrow to finally arrive, but sadly it never did. Even after 4 months of patience, we realized we lost all that time just waiting, simply because the money had already been paid in full. We were waiting for them to deliver these unfortunate windows. Without windows, we couldn't move forward with the interior finishing. And without windows, we couldn't get the blue book for the premises, which meant we couldn't connect the electricity and move forward either. So because of this one thing, we got really stuck at this point. I didn't make the timely decision to realize the horse was dead and get off. Why did we have to drag this out for 4 months? So I really should have arrived at my final decision at a much more rapid pace than I did. Essentially, these are the 2 main specific aspects that I consider to be significant weak points within this project. Of course, next time I will take them into account and everything will go smoothly. The office Since so many people are working remotely these days, having a dedicated room where you can be alone, sit comfortably and work productively, or even a quiet space where the kids can focus on their studies, it has become a total must-have in every modern villa. It is essential to have a space like this. Here, of course, we went all out to build a real proper home office. From the very beginning, I'll say right away, my idea for this area was that there would be a comfortable sofa bed right here that folds out. So you get an extra sleeping space whenever you might need it. But we went all out and made it a full-fledged office.
Okay, but still, this is the big leagues, right? It's like development, you know. Everyone wants to get in there.
Being in the big leagues means being Donald Trump, the president of America, I think. Something like that, more or less. Everything else is just a stage, just some phase. I realized that in development, you either progress further in your career or go into some creative field. This happens when I will be bringing my very own personal concepts and ideas to life, you know? That is, the vision is not just to work to simply supply the existing market and meet its various demands, but to build my own unique product. Something that is truly close to me, something that deeply interests me, which is actually what was done here. Then yes, agency work makes much more sense and is significantly more straightforward and manageable. And the money is more or less the same, with a much lower level of responsibility and emotional burden, decorative wall finishes, soaring high ceilings. And if we had done something very simple, something very banal, we would have ended up in, you know, a generic cardboard box. And of course, we wanted to completely avoid that outcome and not clutter up the space. At the same time, we didn't want to cover the walls with any unusual decorations like carved wooden paintings or anything like that. So this decorative plaster effectively solved all of these design issues. Plus, the color palette we chose is much calmer and more inviting than a harsh, bright white. As a result, it turned out very even and very calm. Of course, it's a texture that allows the eye to rest. How exactly are all the bedrooms arranged here? There is always a wardrobe area here. This is the master bedroom, so there's a huge wardrobe and a lot of space. A dressing table. There should also be a bench here, but it hasn't arrived yet. Here's the closet. Plenty of space for all your things. And in the bedroom, everything is quite simple. A comfortable, cozy bed, bedside tables, floor lamps. The master bedroom also has an extra armchair. Of course, there's a bathroom. There will also be a TV here, which should arrive too, I hope someday. And basically that's it. Minimalism is the style I really like. And, you know, even my designer and I argued about it. She says, let's hang a painting here and put a vase over there. I say, I'm begging you, please. I don't want all that clutter here. I don't need those dust collectors. There was COVID, as you know. During COVID, there wasn't much work. We missed being active a little. And even back then, the thought started to cross my mind that there is more money in construction and development. And let's say it's all more interesting. There's more creativity than in sales. So I realized I needed to move into all of that. Then I met an investor and he said, let's come up with something. I said, let's do it. So there's this land, we'll build 2 villas. He was like, oh, let's do it. And that's how our let's do it led to what we have now. It was kind of, you know, a bit of a playful approach. It was simply a case of saying, let's do it. And that is how we have ended up exactly where we are today.
Do you regret it?
I never regret what I've done. Would I like to change something? Yes, most definitely. I would do some work on my mistakes. I have already taken care of that. I have a comprehensive list written out of what was done right, a list of what was done wrong and how it should be done next time. Our bathrooms are also almost all exactly the same. The master bathroom is different only because it actually has a bathtub here. Otherwise, it is an exceptionally comfortable and spacious walk-in shower unit, complete with built-in storage shelves. You will find a modern toilet equipped with all the necessary high-quality accessories. Over here, there is a stylish sink with plenty of counter space surrounding it and a large window that ensures you always have a steady flow of fresh air and natural light. The passage is internal. Why is it made as an internal passage? Because if you have children sleeping in this bedroom and the neighboring bedroom, they don't need to walk through the pool area. You completely enclose the villa along the perimeter and all movement happens inside. And this is a rare feature for L-shaped villas like this. Why? Because with this passage, we are taking up space. This provides a clear separation from the bedrooms. But in this way, we guarantee safety and security for the entire family. Here we have the guest toilet, a bedroom, and a utility storage room equipped with washing machines, a dryer, various shelving units, and so on. And the third bedroom, it really kind of balances out the master bedroom because it is conveniently located in the opposite wing. The unique bamboo solution, well, visually, it also brings you closer to a kind of relaxing, lush, tropical feeling. Visually, it's as if you're just out in nature. Especially here, you immediately see all the greenery outside. That's why bamboo complements the space beautifully. This room, it actually feels much bigger, and it kind of plays a little differently precisely because of this solution.
Do you think it's possible to build a villa on Samui cheaply for $300,000 to $400,000?
You could even build one for 100. The question is, what kind of villa would that be? You see, it all comes together for you. Think of it as being just like this detailed Lego puzzle that is made up of a variety of different components. And the more of those components you start to remove from there, the smaller your entire structure becomes, so to speak, as you watch it change over time. Let's say we change the air conditioners, and instead of a split system, we use the simplest cassette units. Let's say we decide to install windows, for example, not these ones, the wide profile like we have right here, but just a standard basic aluminum profile that wobbles back and forth like this, right? All right, let's do it. We'll make the walls not double thick, but constructed from the very simplest kind of foam block, and we'll put it in one single thin layer. Yes, and you'll fit within 100,000. But then what will it be? Will you be comfortable? Let's not do waterproofing. Well, why do we need it? All right, then water will run down the walls. Let's not go through with it. Let's not do ceilings. 4.2 meters. Why do we need so much air? Basically, if I can't reach the ceiling when I jump, that's already fine. All right, if that works for you, then yes.
How much does this villa cost now?
That is 25 million baht.
How do you feel inside? Will you sell it or not?
Of course I'll sell it. Well, how else? Of course.
Don't you feel sorry to sell it right now? Haven't you gotten attached to this villa? Don't you want to keep it for yourself? It's such a creation, especially since it's your first one. I
adore this place, and I'll probably be very selective about who will own this villa next. But as for keeping it for myself, it's just not going to happen. Because I know that it's possible to do even better.
3 years in construction. You're a woman after all. You manage such processes, especially at the very beginning. Excavation pits, foundations, Thai construction workers.
Yes, by the way, this is actually a very important point because I wasn't involved in the construction process. I was incredibly lucky that Victor appeared in my life. He came and said, "We need to build something." I said, "Well, villas?" He said, "All right, I'll build them." And that was it. It was completely his area of responsibility. He handled all of the construction completely. At certain moments when help or a decision was needed, yes, he would come. We would quickly sort everything out, and then he would go back to taking care of things. So I was extremely lucky with the contractor. Extremely lucky. I know that finding such responsible, honest people with good communication skills can actually prove to be a significant challenge. That's why I have an absolutely amazing person.
So we're sending greetings to Victor, right?
Yes. He was actually in the previous video he explains all the details of the construction, everything that was planned and everything that was accomplished.
So what are you considering doing next? Do you have any particular motivation to keep building yourself?
For now, I wouldn't get involved in construction. When I think about it, when I look at construction, I realize it's a process like a hamster wheel that never ends. So you don't have the opportunity to ever finish and leave something behind after you. In other words, if you're not the one running in that wheel, the wheel doesn't turn. Development in the form and in the way I have experienced it now, I don't like it. I don't understand why anyone would do it. Working just for the sake of working, well, that's not interesting. I understand what the island is lacking. I see what changes are happening now in terms of the demand for housing, meaning what needs to be changed. I understand which areas. I know which areas make sense to consider for construction and which ones you shouldn't even look at all. But this is just work for the sake of work. And coming back to our conversation about chickens and eagles, even though I'm a chicken, I've learned how to fly. And as for all of you, my dear viewers, I would urge you to always make sure to ask the developer about their real-world experience in construction. Because knowing the market and being able to build, assemble a team, and bring a project to completion are two completely different tasks. All the best to you. This was Anna Veroshina with you. See you next time.